Hi everyone. In this segment I'm going to talk about living light images and how you are made in the image of God, the creator of living light. Just stick with light. And how does that work? And people talk about the law of attraction or the law of allowing and all these laws. I'm going to do it in a visual so that it makes a little bit more sense for your brain to imagine what happens mechanically, how that spreads out and comes back to you, and how you end up having a relationship with what you have thought of, requested, sent out into the ethers, and how it snowballs in an effect and comes back to you, and why it's crucial to pay attention to what you're thinking about, what you're feeling. Not pay attention in a scared way like, oh no, but notice it, because the better you get at it, at feeling your way and listening to your body, tuning into the vibrations, just the feeling of what's going on around you, how you feel. Your body, like I said, isn't going to sprout an arm and be like, hey man, you're about to hit that car. It's just, you're going to tense up and you're going to look. And it's going to just instantly have picked up on that frequency of, hey, check, watch out. How does that happen? Well, you're in a moment in time. Let's say you're in your car, or better yet, walking down the street. So much easier to start walking down the street. So you're walking down the street and you could just stop on a dime and recognize that in that moment in time you are not moving. Besides your body's resonating. I mean, you're breathing and you're alive, right? But on the earth itself, on the planet, you're just in one spot. Boom. Meanwhile, all around you is frequencies going on. And when you're in that one spot, you have infinite choices, infinite possibilities. Go this way, that way, this way, that way, this way, that way. Turn around, go home. Sit down on the ground. Who cares? But we're so programmed to, and we're so good at it, to have thought of something back there that we keep going, but maybe you really want to run into a friend and you don't even know that, but the universe knows that, and you suddenly feel an inspiration to go that way, and you don't know why, and you go and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm running into you. Oh, I was just thinking about you. What a coincidence. But it's not a coincidence. It's that your whole being is surrounded by and is this infinite intelligence that manages, that is aware of everything, what you call manifested to yourself, what other people call other things, and pick a name, but physical, bump into it, rendezvous points is a good way to do it. Like my fingers bumping into my ear, having a little rendezvous right there. So you're so loved and so cared for and so there's so much awareness focused on you at every given moment in time that you're not aware of or paying attention to sometimes, that you can have that confidence of a child that just sort of bounces all around and just wants to play, because your body's doing all the work. Your physical vehicle is very aware of you. And who are you? This is fun. Who are you? For goodness sakes. You, pick a name, Joe Schmo, are Joe Schmo, and you, Joe, are an aspect of the infinite. Now, how does that look or work? What does that mean, and how does it all fit together? So we talked about the dark, the nothing, from which there's a consciousness that expands out and loops back in on itself, right? So let's leave that for a second. And look at it for a moment as you. If these fizzy bugs, the living light, which would be the one bouncing all over the universe, being everywhere at the same time, supporting itself, bouncing into itself, through mirroring itself, like through a window, boom. And the easiest way to imagine that from your perspective, especially watching a video, is your eyeballs are beautifully shrouded in water. You're on that side, or you're on that side, and you are allowing in the light, and it's that meeting of the light inside of you with the light outside of you that creates that image. So the inside light, outside light, but it's technically all the same thing. It's the same particle because it's one particle, right? So it's able to spectrumize, making up words here, everything, but it's still the one thing. That's how it knows itself. So when you're surprised and delighted by running into your friend, it's because that same particle is well aware of the fact that you, version of all there is Joe Schmo, had a desire to run into that person, which would also make that all that is desire also. And how would all that is bring you two together? Your physical body, light, being, fizzy bugs are doing the carrying, and you're just kind of in there perceiving it, because you could close your eyes, and if you close your eyes, you're standing on the street, I kind of want to go that way, and you go that way, and you open your eyes, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's my friend. Seems like a miracle. How did my friend get here too? Just wow at the fact that like your friend was also carried inside a physical bubble by the same infinite intelligence that is having an experience with itself, of itself, as itself, but in different versions. Kind of amazingly cool and a little bit bizarre, but fabulous. So as a Joe Schmo, and then so we'll just draw that real quick. Where are you at here? So here's all these fizzy bugs, and we could draw Joe Schmo covered in fizzy bugs with his little eyeballs, and Joe's friend, fizzy bugs. Joe had a thought that went where? Through the nothingness. Through the nothingness. That vibration zoomed in and attracts, brings together these two people. Naturally, because like attracts like. And it's just, it gets drawn to it. So that's a visual on how those things work out, because this infinite intelligent fizzy bugs, that run through space and time, these blurs of infinity, want to have that experience, want something to do, want to have an interaction, want to play, basically is what it comes down to. You want to play, and you want to have fun, and you want to feel good, and you don't want to take a walk by yourself all the time. Or maybe you do, whatever. But whatever you've sent out that you want, like, for example, I have this thing with four-leaf clovers. I love to find four-leaf clovers just because it's my personal rendezvous game that I play with the universe. And so I find them all the time. And I make magnets out of them, and I give them away, and it's really fun for me. And that's just one of my practice tools, four-leaf clovers. So that is partly of how this experience on Earth runs. And there's a saying, get the ball rolling. Desire gets that ball rolling. And how does desire get that ball rolling? In a two-dimensional illustration, one way to explain that is if you are wherever you are right there right now, and let's say you're in Russia or something, and so here you are, you're standing here, and you had a thought or a desire, you sent out this request to the universe, it would then be bounced back, looped back to you, not necessarily in this red hot second, but eventually it will gain momentum, it will gain friends, especially if it's a really good fun thought. This is the power of love and the power of, people call it the power of positive thinking. But like if you have a really good idea, a really exciting idea, a really like joy-filled idea, then, and you keep allowing it to gain some traction in yourself, it will itself, because the idea itself is infinitely intelligent, it will basically kind of send out a message to all its little friends. Oh, this is a really good idea. We should all go play with Steve in Russia. And Steve in Russia will get like signals of more ideas and more ideas and more ideas. And when Steve starts acting on those ideas, following those impulses, following those intuition points in space, so to speak, when he starts moving on it, getting the ball rolling, sorry, my paintings are falling down, that movement of his 2 feet in space, theoretically it's called space, it's the illusion of space, of movement, his movement with the illusion of time, moment, it's all just like one perfect moment, one perfect. But as he's doing that, that blur of his creation causes him to rendezvous with the end result, which becomes what people call a manifestation. I'll make it a gift. And here's something really fun. So let's say Steve had an idea to make a bicycle. So that bicycle, that gift that he now has to present to the world and his friends, is made of what? Is made of all these particles, all these fizzy bugs that aligned in front of him, that he could see and knew what to do and how to pull all the pieces together and create this creation. And that's why people call it co-creation. You're co-creating with the elements, with the ideas, with the vibrational reality of light frequencies from, this is tricky, but I'll say it anyway, just for now, we'll leave it at this. On Earth, what you see around you is made up of sunlight, the big love affair of the sun and the earth with water, and poof, magic. So all those 2 frequencies, dust and sunlight and some teary-eyed, sad, lonely planet water, all come together to make everything that you experience in a physical reality. So the infinite intelligence isn't just infinitely intelligence to guide you. What I think is really amazingly cool, it's infinitely forgiving and kind and malleable, and you can imagine that in the sense that you can turn it into an art frame, you can turn it into a paper towel, you can turn it into a funky wagon salt shaker, you can turn it into a bottle cap, right? But it's still the same stuff. So oftentimes you will find love and appreciation being spoken of in the same sentence, because that allowing nothingness, that I so adore, is what allows the malleableness, allows the transformation, allows the movement. It's because of this, if you're in music, it makes perfect sense, but it's the space between the notes that make the song so delicious. It's the ride, it's the experience, it's the moving toward the bicycle. It's not the bicycle. I mean, the bicycle's awesome, but the process of, oh, I have a great idea. Oh, I have the tools. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. And that piece of it is where I would say if I have anything to give, it's that. It's that part that I keep noticing. Maybe I need to stop noticing it because not everybody's missing it, but because a lot of you are definitely not missing it. But it's that part that we all want more of. That part of like, I know it's out there. I know my little invisible friends are playing their songs on the radio and they're, you know, they're out there somewhere and I'm going to run into them and it's going to be really, really fun. As opposed, and that's the upside, you know, you just know it's here. It's here. It's here. If you have the idea, then it exists. You just created it and now it exists. And that faith, that trust, that, you know, she's out there and she's gonna do it and he's gonna say it, or I'm gonna run into it, or I'm gonna find it. That is life in the most reflective, beautiful, funny, delightful, it's heaven on earth. It's the song of existence. It's what you can't see proving itself to you that you are seen. And the sun, for me, is that everyday reminder that you're watched, you're supported, you're loved. And it's one thing to walk down the street blind and just I could meditate all day, but it's one thing to meditate and just be constantly amazed about existence itself. And it's such an even other thing to open your eyes and look around and take in the amount of focus from way up high, figuratively speaking, because really inside out, but the amount of constant awareness that is holding this all together. And on that simplistic level, shut up, I know I'm rambling. On the simplistic level of just knowing that you're known by what you can't see is grounds for miracles. And I'll do miracles in the next one so that this video doesn't get too long for people watching. So that's my presentation on some fizzy bugs and how desire makes the planet go around. Didn't really say that directly, but what I mean is if you could imagine billions of people walking the planet with these desires in their little feet, you're almost spinning the ball. It's kind of comical. And out of respect for the whales swimming in the ocean and the bugs flying in the air and all these focused flying animals, you kind of want to respect they're having their physical experience too. And so not just like humanity is here to grab all the tools and mush it into something man-made, but yet take a step back and recognize that the stone, you know, that's been rejected, as if Earth wasn't good enough. You know, we can make some cool stuff, but there's a point where maybe we want to just love what we got. All right, that's it for this section, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.